The only thing that I felt a bit awkward about is the fact that it changed the tax situation here last year, and we don't know how nobody really knows how it's gonna work out.
Meet Marc, a Dutch serial entrepreneur and investor that has lived in all corners of the world before eventually establishing a home base down in Koh Samui, Thailand. Marc shares his thoughts on what quiet life in the islands are like, his take on Thailand's new tax laws, some of the hoops that he had to jump through in order to establish his home base in Thailand, and why he feels that this is one of the best retirement countries in the world. This is Marc's Thailand Blueprint. Let's go. Where were you and what were you doing the very first time you decided that you wanted to get a home base in Thailand?
Well, the first time I wanted to get a home base here was actually more than 10 years ago. I was living in Shanghai and I was looking for a place to move to. I had been working very hard, very hard in China for many years. And I felt like I want to take it easy. So I'd been to Samui a couple of times and I was like, I'm going to buy a place over there. Didn't work out eventually. And I ended up actually in Vancouver. And then, fast forward 10 years, COVID hits the world and I'm sitting, locked up in Canada and I'm in the cold. I'm like, you know what? I want to get back to Samui actually. I want to go back to Thailand. And so the first moment Thailand opened up in October 2021, I literally booked a ticket and 3 weeks later I was back in Bangkok and traveled to Phuket first, looking for a place, and eventually ended up buying a place here in Koh Samui.
Why Samui?
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons. I mean, originally we were thinking of moving to Phuket because it's a bit more lively place, more happens over there. But I was a bit disappointed. Even during COVID, it didn't feel like the place that I had in mind that it used to be. A bit more dirty, even a bit busy at certain points. And I just felt like it doesn't feel right. And so we decided we booked a flight from Phuket to Samui and came back here and I was like, yeah, this feels like a tropical island paradise. And that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for a place where it's quiet, with beautiful views, with nice beaches, but especially a quiet place. Phuket wasn't quiet. Phuket's always kind of busy and that's nice, but I was looking for a quiet place and that's what I found here.
And then you use Samui as one of a few home bases, right? You're also a Singapore guy. You
Correct.
were mentioning that you spend some time in Vancouver and Europe. Based on that setup, I'm curious what your visa situation is.
Yeah, I'm here actually on a retirement visa. I turned 50 last year, and when you turn 50, you can get a retirement visa, which is very easy. If I would have been a few years younger, I would have gone for an elite visa. They're easy to get. They're not that expensive actually, and it gives you a great opportunity to live here for between 5 and 20 years, and so that's a perfect solution as well. For me, the retirement visa was easy. It's a quick process. You need to put 800,000 baht in your bank accounts, and yeah, that's easy to do.
Yeah, I've always kind of found, just talking to older foreigners, older expats living here that are over that 50 age limit for the retirement visa, it's a pretty bulletproof option.
It is very easy.
Yeah.
Easy to renew, and it's everybody's doing it. There's never any real issues with it. It's yeah.
And then because you're leaving the country and coming back a pretty regular amount, you probably don't have to worry about that 90-day reporting, right?
I've never done that actually. 90-day reporting. I think I've never stayed here for more than 2 weeks during my whole living in Thailand. I travel all the time. So I have no idea how that actually works, but yeah, it's just once a year renewing your retirement visa, that's all.
We're in a pretty nice villa right now. You had touched on it earlier. This is your place. What's the story here? How did you find it? What sort of setup do you got?
So 10 years ago when I started looking at buying a villa in Samui, I had seen this compound. This is in the very south of Samui. It's a very quiet place and I really liked it, but it wasn't a good fit for me at the time. I had 2 young kids and it's quite steep and it's a very natural surrounding in the jungle overlooking the sea. And also the price point of the houses here was actually out of reach for me at the moment, at that point. So I had seen it and, then 10 years later when I came back here, I was able to afford a place here. And I looked online for houses in this compound and found another place actually here that I thought was beautiful, came to visit it, and then had seen online that another house was available as well. And I visited that as well. The moment I walked into this house, I knew this is where I want to live. This felt right. This is the place, that I'd always been looking for. And literally within 24 hours, I had bought the place and, I'm very happy with it.
And then as far as the structure of it, it's a 30-year leasehold on the land, but you own the structure.
That's correct. That's how it works. So the moment I bought bought the house, I took over the company and got a new 30-year lease right away.
When you acquired the place, did it come furnished, or was that something that you had to handle overseas and get things imported in, TVs, couches, kitchenware, appliances?
I bought everything myself new. It's when I buy a house, I want my own stuff in there, and it's so I bought everything new here in Thailand. Got an interior designer to design furniture, and bought everything new. Yeah.
How did you find that interior designer?
Through friends on Samui, actually. Actually, I think through the seller of the house.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think she introduced the designer to me. Yeah, yeah.
And then we were chatting earlier, but your kids, you have a son and a daughter, correct?
That's correct. Yep. Yep.
They're going to international school in Singapore.
Yep.
Do they ever come up to the island? Your kids, that is?
Oh, they love it. They come regularly. There's a direct flight from Singapore, two flights per day actually. And during holidays they come here a couple of days, and we go boating. I've got a boat in Samui as well, and we go to the beach. We go to beach clubs. They're 14 and 16, so it's a real age where they like to start doing more stuff. They love it. So yeah, it's a very good place for them to spend time here during holidays. Yeah.
So that's cool. How often are your kids up here spending time with you?
I would say on average 4 or 5 times per year, probably mostly during school holidays. Normally not for weekends, because my son is in the sailing team, the school sailing team, and he sails also for Changi Sailing Club. So every weekend he's busy sailing. My daughter is in a band, and so they're kids, and so weekends are hard, but holidays they often spend here. So yeah.
So when you have your family in town, you had mentioned you like to go around the island, go to beach clubs, things like this. You have a boat here, so I'm sure you take them out on that.
That's correct. Yeah.
Is there any other family activities that you guys partake in? Anything that you might recommend?
I'm a pretty boring dad sometimes, I guess, because I'm living a quiet life here. So it's mostly restaurants, mostly beach clubs, beach bars that we go to. We've seen all the usual temples and sightseeing places here on the islands. In the mountains, the jungle club, the temples on top of the mountain. But kids have all seen it, and they're more like, let's go hang out on the beach, and that's what they really like to do. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, on Samui, it's a beautiful island, but after a few weeks of sightseeing, you've seen it all, right? And it's yeah, you sort of focus on some restaurants that you like and some bars that you prefer to go to, and that's it. What I really like, actually, and that's a hidden gem, I think it's on the island of Koh Samui, which is just opposite my house here. There's a beach club. It's called Au bout du monde. That means at the end of the world in French, and it's amazing. It's a hidden gem. It's hard to get to. You need to get there by boat. They have their own boats. The club has its own boat. 5-course lunch with wine pairings on the beach, high end, beautiful place.
Do you catch the boat at Tongkroot Pier here?
You can catch a boat on Tongkroot Pier, yeah. Well, but my boat is actually on a different beach, and I've got a captain. So if I drink a couple of wines, I don't need to drive my boat back. That's easy. But yeah, that's how you do it. Huh?
For all you guys out there, pay attention. Marc's living the high life on Samui. But you've earned it, man. You've earned it. We were chatting before. This is a really, really smart guy, an inspirational guy. And yeah, I'm really happy that we're having this chat. How do you get around the island? Do you have a driver? Do you have your own car? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I have a car with a driver.
Yeah.
Which makes things easy. Although I normally drive myself. I think it's, for short things. If I go to the macro or something, I might take the driver just to carry the stuff or stuff. But normally I just drive myself, but if I go for dinners or whatever, then he drives. If I go to the airport, which is very, very regularly, I mean, almost every week I've got a flight somewhere, he drives and picks me up. So, and I've got a scooter as well. Got my motorcycle license here in Thailand a couple of months ago. I mean, I was driving it without a license, which most people do. But the thing is, if you get an accident, you're simply not insured, right? So I felt like just got my motor license here, and it's easy to do.
You talk about having a driver. The chef here in your villa is upstairs prepping what looks to be a pretty nice lunch right now. It's kind of a good leadway into just the level of service in Thailand and the services available here. What's your take on that? Both just actual service level in restaurants, at clubs and things like this, but then also the types of services you can get. Is it something that you enjoy, that you're impressed with?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, they really try, right? It doesn't always work, but that's okay, I guess. You know, the expectation level is different from being in New York City, for example, right, or being in London. It's different, but you know, they really want to do a good job, and there's always someone able to help. Just now, my car broke down. Yeah, my battery was empty. I mean, it's literally you call one person up, and 2 minutes later, there's someone here, you know, solving your problem. I mean, try that in any other place in the world. It's hard. Here it's just like, okay, whatever, you know. 30 minutes later, your car is ready to go again. And if it isn't, then they find someone else, and you know, that's what I like. So the level of service is really good. It's hard to compare to other countries. I've lived in China where it was a bit similar. I've lived in Indonesia where it's in a similar level. Singapore, you don't really get it anymore at this level. Europe or the US, yeah, if you really pay over the top, you could potentially get it. But here it's normal. I mean, you know, having a chef, having a housekeeper, having gardeners, having a driver, it's easy to find, and they're great people. They're friendly people. They feel like family almost, which is also different in other countries, right? In Canada, if you have a chef or a driver, there's a difference. It's like you feel like a level. It's here they're more like friends. They work for you, but they're friends.
How's your Thai?
Niet nooy. Not that good. I had a private Thai teacher for a while, which works pretty well. But then, you know, my travel got in the way as usual. And at a certain point, it didn't work because I have to be in a certain place to learn Thai. And it's just kind of hard. And yeah, so that sort of became less and less. And then it completely stopped, actually. My aim is to actually learn good Thai. And that's going to happen this year. It's one of my New Year's resolutions. Yeah.
Marc signed up for the Thai language challenge. I'll leave a link in the description below, but we basically got Kun Fa, who many of you might know over from the Retired Working For You channel. Well, she used to be a Thai teacher by trade. Then we hired her to work with us over in Retired Working For You. She wanted to put together a 100-day Thai language curriculum, all delivered online to you anywhere in the world in classroom setting. It's going to be good. Marc signed up for the full 100 days. It'll be a lot, man. It'll be a lot, but it'll be good. I think, you know, you're going to surprise yourself.
I
Maybe
like a
not,
challenge.
actually.
I like a challenge. So it's, you know, yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what is your setup for insurance? Are you insured in Singapore? Do you have some sort of global travel or health insurance policy? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I've had a global health insurance policy since 1995 because I've lived outside the Netherlands, my home country, since 1995. It's always been the same insurance, and it works all over the world. Whatever happens, except for the US. US I'm not covered. I need to pay additional coverage. But any place in the world, I can go to a hospital and you know, get treatment. So it works here as well. It works. Yeah, for me it's perfect. It's a Dutch insurance company actually. I looked at a Singaporean company. I looked at a Hong Kong company, and in the end, my insurance is actually much cheaper simply because I've had it for so long and I hardly had any issues over the years. So I just kept it.
What's the company name?
It's called OOM.
OOM.
OOM. Yeah.
Dutch company.
Dutch company. Yeah.
And have you ever had to make a claim here in Thailand?
Oh,
or?
yeah, I've had, yeah. I mean, small things, but
Yeah.
yeah, never any issues. It's quick. I mean, get the money quickly. I pay it myself first. I guess you probably can get it in a different way as well. They pay it for you, but I mean, for me, it's just convenience. Pay it quickly, and then I get the money back, and it's in my account within 2-3 weeks normally. So no problem. Yeah.
And then talking about technicalities here, things that the people definitely have to consider if they're looking to relocate anywhere, and certainly Thailand, is banking, getting a local bank account.
Yep.
Is that something that you're set up with as part of your retirement visa? You have
Yep.
a local Thai account?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's super easy to get. I got it already before I got my retirement visa. It's through an introduction to a friend. It's Bangkok Bank is, I think, the easiest one for people that are new to Thailand. Yeah, very good service. They know me well there, actually. It's like to the point that I feel a bit embarrassed. Like I walk in and they tell me to come to the front of the line. I had to go there yesterday for my retirement visa, actually, to get some documents, and it's crazy. It's just even there the service is very, very good. So yeah, great bank, and it's very easy. Everything works. You've got a mobile banking app. I pay most things. I pay now by scanning a QR code. Yeah, it's just easy. No more cash money.
I noticed that health and wellness seems to be a pretty big part of your life. How do you go about taking care of yourself here in Samui?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always done a lot of sports just as a way to keep sane. I mean, if you work hard, you gotta do sports, right? And so when I moved to Samui, I needed to keep doing it, and I'm a runner. I've done a lot of marathons. Um, Last year, I only did a half marathon in Phuket actually. What I do is I've got a home gym, a small home gym. I run on a treadmill here. I've got some weights. I've got some yoga mats. But there's also a running track not far from me here where I go to normally in the evening, either it's early in the morning or late in the evening. Where I got my kilometers in. I do some runs on the beach if the tide's low, um, and there's a Muay Thai class here in close to where I live in Lamai, where I go to sometimes. It's in the morning, a 1.5 hour out workout. Um, just different things. And indeed, I do these week-long retreats where you do yoga, where you do complete detox, actually, mindfulness, which is really good to sort of unwind. Although I'm the only one that brings his laptop and his phone and literally still works 3-4 hours a day. But that's just how I feel better doing it. I cannot not do anything. If my phone's turned off for 24 hours, I go crazy. I cannot relax anymore.
Yeah, you strike me as a guy that will never, ever, no matter how old you are, what you got going on in your life, truly shut down and truly relax.
No, the thing is also my work is not very stressful. At least I don't feel it's stressful. I like what I do, and there's every work has its pros and cons, and there's moments you think, oh man, But in general, I feel good doing my emails, replying people quickly, getting stuff done, and then once it's done, I can relax and enjoy the rest of the day.
If you had to guess your cost of living when you're here in Samui,
Just living here on a yearly basis, 70,000, 80,000 US dollars, and that's for a very, very luxurious lifestyle with great restaurants, with several live-in staff full time working for me.
the beauty with this country is it can be whatever you want it to
Yep.
be. And no matter what level you're transacting at for any category, housing, food, accommodation, transportation, whatever it may be, there's going to be different levels that vary wildly. I know people here that spend as little as 1,500 US dollars a month,
Yep.
and people that spend as much as 10 or 12,000 US dollars a month.
Yep.
The cool part about Thailand is no matter what level you're at, that value exchange, the money that you give for the goods and or services that you receive, it tends to feel good usually.
I once calculated actually. So if I would have this lifestyle in Canada, it would be 3 to 4 times more expensive. So that's really what it is. It's literally 25% to 30% of what you would pay for it in the Western world for the similar lifestyle. So that's very much worth it, I think. Next to the fact that housing is not that expensive here compared to Canada. So yeah.
I found the exact same thing when I ran the numbers for myself.
Yep.
My life certainly wouldn't be as luxurious or high end as what your experience is here, but I like it all. I like both. I like
Yep.
going to my local market for lunch, but then I also like going to get good international food for
Yep.
dinners. And if I have buddies rolling through town, or if
Yep.
it's a special occasion, go to a nice sky bar.
Yep.
I like both sides of Thailand, but I think people need to see that both sides certainly exist.
And very important as well, the taxation situation here. I lived in Canada for a decade, and taxation is getting out of hand if you earn a lot of money there, right? You get taxed on everything. And here in Thailand, I mean, until a few weeks ago, actually, I paid 0% tax because there's no capital gains tax here. There's no tax on income that's earned abroad. I don't work locally here. My work is all outside of Thailand. It changes a bit now. There's still not completely sure how it's going to work out, but all the money that you bring into Thailand is going to be taxed potentially on. But let's see how that works out. Generally, it's just taxation-wise, it's a great country to live. Just the savings in tax, you can live a fantastic lifestyle here if that's what you want to do. I mean, I'm not living here for tax reasons, but it's a very good incentive actually to think about Thailand.
Do you ever spend time in other parts of the country?
So because I travel so much overseas, I mean, I always travel to Singapore or to Bangkok. So if I travel to Bangkok, I often spend 1 or 2 days there, catching up with some friends or just doing some shopping or going to some high-end restaurants. Phuket, I go a few times per year. I have some friends there. Rest of the country, not really. I've seen it all. I've been to every place, not every place, but I've seen all all big tourist attractions in Thailand over the years. and I probably do one or two per year. But it's mostly Bangkok and Phuket that I travel to.
I know you're not here full time, so it's a bit harder, but I am curious if you've made any good friends, good buddies here on Samui that are like-minded, similar position to you. How's that played out for you since being here?
Yeah, so my business partner lives here as well. My business partner from Vancouver. He moved here with me he's been here for the past 2 years. He's a good friend. For the rest, there's not that many good friends here actually. It's and the reason is that most people my age are not, at the retirement phase of life, or they have full-time jobs. So if you want to catch up with them, it's going to be on the weekend, which is only 2 days, obviously. So I have a different lifestyle for most of them. Also, the people that I hang out with in other countries, like in Singapore, where I spend a lot of time, it's a different kind of people here. It's you know people here, I guess they enjoy their life maybe more than people in Singapore. There's less of a business mindsets, and so I've got a lot of business buddies. I would say people I hang out with and discuss investment ideas, and but also go partying with, and that's mostly in Singapore. Here on the island, not that much. I've got some people that I hang out with sometimes, but no real good friends actually. However, a lot of friends actually visit me here. That's the good thing of living on an island like this. People know you live here, and people pass by, and I say, if you're in Bangkok, come on over for a few days, or if you're in Singapore, come on over for a few days. So over, during the year, I've got lots of people visiting. It's right now my parents are visiting, for example, and my kids were here last week. My sister was here last week, and got friends coming in on Thursday again, and so it's always people here, and that's so it's kind of nice. People that you don't see that much during in if you like, for example, if I live in Canada or live in the Netherlands, I don't see them that much, but then they spend a few days here with you, and it's kind of like a very a deep connection you build because you're spending time, the whole day and showing them around the island and spending time on the water, going to nice restaurants, and it's pretty cool actually. It's a different kind of good friends.
Is there anything you dislike about Thailand?
I mean, look, it's still a developing country in a way, and that has its advantages and disadvantages. There's a lot of bureaucracy going on here, but I'm used to it. I've done it. I've lived in Indonesia. I've lived in China, and it's all similar there. So it's a mindset. It's happening, and I kind of laugh about it. It's just an example. I got a new phone. I had to change my app from Bangkok Bank to the new phone. Had to sign three different forms in the bank, and that it's like, I'm like, really, guys, is that necessary? And they laugh about it as well. So that's the bureaucracy is sometimes I feel like it really isn't necessary, But then it is what it is, and it's not a major thing. It's gonna happen. The only thing that I felt a bit awkward about is the fact that it changed the tax situation here last year, and we don't know how nobody really knows how it's gonna work out. It won't really affect me that much, but I guess if you really live here full time and bring a lot of money in, it may be an issue for people. But then we're going to find out over the next 12 months if there's a real impact or not. I expect they will change the law again, and there's no real impact, but who knows? But that's the sort of thing. It's things are always in flux here. Things change, but generally it's a great country. There's no real huge downsides here. No, it's a good place to retire. It's a very relaxed, quiet place. So if you want to unwind, this is here. It's not the place where you go for partying, at least not my kind of partying. That's more, bigger cities in like Singapore or Hong Kong or Dubai. But to really unwind and read a book or watch some shows on Netflix or on YouTube, it's a great place to do it here. And just being relaxed. Yeah, so that's here. And so my future, yeah, I'll think I'll keep this house forever. It's a beautiful location. It's a very safe location, good guards and everything, and that's important to me. Um, so yeah, this is a place that I'll spend a lot more time in the future. Yeah.
Any parting words of wisdom for those considering relocating here, whether it be part-time, 3, 6, 9 months a year, or full-time?
Yeah, I mean, I lived in many countries in the world. So, for me, moving to Thailand was not a decision that I just came up with. It was something that's really over the years where I realized this is really one of the best places in the world to live. It's a combination of very friendly people. The weather is very nice. Nature is beautiful. It's easy to get around. And it's not expensive either, right? And it's so you can have an amazing lifestyle here, better than in most places in the world. So I think yeah, this is for me the best place in the world to live as a holiday destination or a retirement destination.
Mark, thank you for your time. Really, really appreciate you sharing your Thailand blueprint. I think these guys have really appreciated hearing your perspectives on your life in Samui. So thank
Well,
you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, there you have it, Mark's Thailand blueprint. I must admit, it's a pretty good one. I guess now is kind of a good time to share what is the point of this channel? What am I looking to achieve? You see, I've lived in Thailand for 3 years now. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. I absolutely love it over here, as I'm sure many of you do as well. And I've gotten to meet a lot of interesting people. Those that have come here to retire, people that have come here to start businesses, people that have come here because they married a Thai husband or wife, people that come here single, people that come here as a couple. There's all sorts of different individuals in this country, and I really want to understand what was their blueprint. How did they get here? Why did they get here? And then do they feel is the grass greener on the other side? The goal is that over time, and this video library builds, that you'll be able to find somebody that I talk to that you can relate with and understand how they did it, what were the problems they had when moving over here, what went well, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly about life in Thailand and relocating to Thailand. So that's what I'm looking to do. Thank you for watching this first video. I hope you enjoyed Mark's perspective, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.